in this video we're going to talk about how to add and subtract with fractions and decimals. We've done it with integers and whole numbers. Now we need to talk about decimals and fractions. The good news is the rules are exactly the same. Same sign, we're going to keep and add. So if I'm adding two positives, I'm going to add them, my answer is positive. If I'm adding two negatives, I'm going to add them as if they're positive, my answer is negative. Different sign, I'm going to subtract the two numbers and take the sign of the bigger number. So, for example, if I am taking negative 2/7 plus negative 3/7. Okay, yes, there are two negatives, but I'm just going to keep and add. Now, reminder with fractions that you have to have a common denominator to add them. This one does because the denominators are both 7. And with fractions, you do not add the denominators. They stay the same. So that will remain 7. So really, all I'm doing is taking negative 2 plus negative 3. Okay? So same sign, keep and add. So I'm going to keep the negative. 2 plus 3 is 5. So this is negative 5. So it is negative 5/7. And that's all there is to it. If I have two fractions that are not a common denominator. Okay, 3 and a 4, I cannot add these together right now. You cannot just take 3 plus 4. You have to find a common denominator. One way is to find the least common multiple and go from there. I'm going to give you a trick that works every time. You may have to simplify the fraction at the end, but it'll work. And that is, I always think, okay, I'm going to have two new fractions. To get my new common denominator, if I just multiply these denominators together, that will get me that's the easiest way to get the common denominator. So 3 times 4 is 12. So that's my common denominator. But if I have a new denominator, I need a new numerator. So this cannot remain negative 2. It's got to be a new number. How do I do that? I can cross multiply. If I took 3 times 4, I also have to take negative 2 times 4. Okay, that's going to be negative 8. Basically, I just take 2 times 4 and I just drop the negative. Okay, 2 times 4 is 8. If this had a negative, I'm going to drop it. Now, if I took 4 times 3, I have to cross multiply, take 1 times 3, and that is my new numerator there. Now, I have a common denominator, and I can proceed. This is different sign, subtract. Different sign, subtract. So, I'm going to take 8/12. Move the camera here so you can see. 8/12 minus 3/12. The 12 stays. 8 minus 3 is 5. Take the sign of the bigger number. 8 is bigger than 3, so the negative's going to come down here. So my final answer is negative 5/12. I don't have to simplify that, so I'm good. Okay? Decimals. Remember when you are adding decimal numbers, that the key to doing this is to line up your decimal points. And if you have a blank on the end, you fill that in with a 0. You drop your decimal point, and now you just add. 5 plus 0 is 5. 2 plus 2 is 4. 0 plus 1 is 1. And this would be a same sign, keep and add. They're both positive, so I just add them and I keep it positive. Okay? Okay, so if I had these decimals, this is a different sign, subtract. My bigger one is 3.7, so I would line them up and take 3.7 minus 2.1. Drop the decimal. 7 minus 1 is 6. 3 minus 2 is 1. Take the sign of my bigger number. In this case, my bigger number is positive, so my answer will remain positive. So you already know how to add fractions. You already know how to add and subtract decimals. We've learned this rule. What we're doing is taking these things that we've learned in the past and we're putting them all together. So all of the little steps you have learned, just putting it together into one.